Thanks so much to KiwiCo for sponsoring today's video. Go to kiwico.com/JMorrell. Use my code JMorrell to get 50% off your first month. Welcome back, friends. I am so excited to be doing a whole week of big, super, mega, massive, yay, slow cooker dinners. 96 ounces of meatballs at a time, 6 pounds, we can handle it. My kids love the recipe that I'm doing for tonight that I'm putting in the slow cooker. These are all a bunch of our favorites. So I hope you enjoy this whole week of super easy slow cooker dinners. Let's jump into the first night, and all the links and recipe directions will be down in the description below. So this first recipe, and I have a fork in my hand. First recipe for tonight is going to be spicy barbecue meatballs, and I usually do rice that we have this on top of. If folks don't want to have the meatballs on rice, they don't have to. We also have salad fixing, so that will be for dinner tonight. My kids right now, most of them are at afternoon riding lessons, horseback riding lessons, and they're not going to be back for 3 or 4 hours. And so this is a great recipe that you don't have to get going in the morning. Now you could put this in your slow cooker and put it on low at lunchtime. It'd be ready by dinner time. But even if you can't get it in until later afternoon, like right now, it's 3:15. The kids will be back from riding around 6 or so that'll be perfect. These meatballs will be ready then about 3 hours. I mean, these are pre-cooked, but just for all the flavors to mix up that we're going to use. And I'm gonna go ahead and actually do the rice in the Instant Pot. I'm hoping to make a little extra because some soups and other things we're doing this week also call for rice, and we will use kind of our leftover rice for that. So what I have are these spicy peppers. We're only gonna put a couple in and just a little bit of the sauce. Then we have a jar of cherry preserves. Use sugar-free if you want, but this is what I have. And then I also have 2 bottles of the Sweet Baby Ray's, and we're gonna throw this in too, just dumping all of this in with a bag of Save Your Life Costco meatballs, right? And I'm gonna put this all in my 10-quart slow cooker, and then we'll get the rice going as well. Thank you to KiwiCo for sponsoring today's video. We love KiwiCo around here for sure. You can click the first link in the description below. Go to kiwico.com/JMorrell. Use my code JMorrell to get 50% off your first month with KiwiCo. So we have one of the many KiwiCo projects that's going down is the KiwiCo crate playing with hydraulics. It says make colors disappear and build a worm that wiggles with hydraulic power. And then we have the solar system project in the works. Lots of good painting happening with that. And then we also have 2 of the Eureka happening. This is the pinball machine. This is for ages 14 and up. KiwiCo provides a fun monthly crate with hands-on projects that are delivered right to your door. Thanks again to KiwiCo for sponsoring today's video. Again, click the first link in the description below. Head to kiwico.com/JMorrell and use my code JMorrell to get 50% off your first month. And here we are on the following day. And so I simply dumped that life-saving bag of Costco meatballs into the 10-quart slow cooker. I'm also putting in my 2 bottles of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, and I will let the bottle hang out upside down just to try to get the last bits of sauce out of it. Got that open. I was wondering with just having my arms and hands work. Everything's working well together. And now I'm dumping in the jar of cherry preserves and just a few spoonfuls of the pepper sauce. Now on my recipe that's up over on my blog, largefamilytable.com, I also talk about you can add a bag of stir-fry vegetables to this. I am not doing that. Oh, I just got strawberry preserve. Nope, cherry preserve in my forehead there. Anyway, I'm not adding those, but you can do that, and you'll see that in the original recipe. The original recipe also talks about a 48-ounce bag of meatballs, and we used a 96-ounce bag. Do you know me? Slide and scale, we make it work. Now this would have also worked in a 7 or 8 quart slow cooker just fine. And now I'm just stirring everything up, and it's gonna come together perfectly after it cooks over a few hours. This is absolutely delicious. Also would be yummy for the holidays. Last time I made this, oh boy, will there be any left over for lunch tomorrow? I honestly cannot answer that, because 6 pounds of meatballs, whole lot of folks, even on top of brown rice, they gobble it up. Okay, and then, so this is gonna be 4 cups of rice, and I'm gonna wash that. We'll get that in the Instant Pot with 8 cups of water. You can also use broth. I actually have some bone broth up here. I'm thinking, anyway, why will I not use that bone broth? Well, it's always a story. I bought myself some little expensive jars of bone broth for me to like sip on once in a while when I needed it, because every time I make broth in life, things go wrong, and I'm scared to make broth again. The stories I could tell of the times I've had my big roaster oven. We will have a big batch broth cooking day. I think I just might use water in this rice today, and that will be okay. And I will save my few little store-bought bone broth jars for when I need a little nourishment for myself in a warm cup. Makes sense to me. You can also do your rice in the slow cooker. It actually takes about the same amount of time. I just have some slow cookers in the wash and some lids in the wash, and I thought, that's okay. I'll just do my Instant Pot and it'll be done. And I like to hit that Instant Pot rice button. Now, there's also a little bit of the barbecue sauce still in my Sweet Baby Ray bottles, and so we'll add some water to those and get that done a little bit in with the meatballs too. And you know, I'm kind of, maybe it's because I have my festive Christmas season shirt, right? I'm kind of feeling like I could think up a Christmas menu. I know, because as I do these meatballs, I'm like, I could make a big Christmas meal in my slow cookers. You know, in years past, and I sell these in my shop, I have my mega head holiday meals where you can make everything ahead for every holiday, have it ready in your freezer. Don't want to make any promises though, because I might just suddenly feel like, you know what? I can't do this right now. I'm gonna order the Cracker Barrel Christmas feast like I did for Thanksgiving, even in the commercial kitchen. It's okay. It's whatever a mama needs, right? But happy thoughts for today. Maybe we'll be cooking for Christmas. Well, not on Christmas. Okay, well, let's talk about this. Even on Christmas Day, I could get these spicy meatballs in the slow cookers. I could do more than this. I'd probably do 12 pounds. There's things we could do. It could happen. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. But rice in the Instant Pot. Yes, Instant Pot, remember me. I've used you for years and years. Okay, spicy barbecue meatballs going down. Rice cooking itself. Yay. Okay, so now we're just gonna go after the last of this barbecue sauce. Seems like it's almost a quarter of the bottle. This happens to be the hickory and brown sugar, Sweet Baby Ray's. You could totally sugar-free this meal or adapt an even healthier version. You could use, what is it, JP Hughes. They have a lot of sugar-free barbecue sauce. You could use sugar-free preserves. You could do homemade meatballs, so you knew all the ingredients. Definitely things you can adapt this. And we do have a mix of meals this week. I'm doing several that would check a lot of boxes, and several that quick and easy, lemon squeezy meals. So this is how lovely those meatballs turned out. And I'm just going to get myself a bowl with a scoop of rice and a scoop of meatballs on top. And it is so delicious. Like I said, I have some folks who eat just the meatballs with no rice, and some who eat it on rice could also be eaten on noodles. It's delicious. And here we are later. That's how much is getting put in the refrigerator for the next day. So maybe a little bit for lunch. And I'm getting the slow cooker, the 10-quart slow cooker, washed out so we can do a delicious slow cooker lemon sesame chicken and rice soup. So for this recipe, you can use about 6 to 8 boneless, skinless chicken thighs, or honestly just any chicken you have available. Some salt, dried thyme leaves, diced carrots, onion, celery stalks. Now I did not have celery on hand that day, but if you have it, throw it in. Some ground ginger, also garlic powder, sesame oil, black pepper, some bay leaves, chicken stock, some lemon zest or juice, also soy sauce. I use liquid aminos, and then about 4 to 5 cups of cooked rice. And actually on this day I did not use liquid aminos, I used coconut aminos. And I had a big bag of carrots, and we're going to open those up, give them the sniff test, they're going to make it. And so I scoop out a couple handfuls of those baby carrots to wash and chop up for in the soup as well. I filmed this when I still had my brace wrist on, or wrist brace. Any order there, we were still chopping though, we were still making it work. Also, those are, look at us, the onions that we grew. So they're small, but that we did it, and I'm going to chop those up and add them into the soup as well. And I cooked the chicken thighs in the Instant Pot because that was an easy thing to throw in there. And I had leftover rice from when I did the meatballs over rice the night before. And I'm just adding in my store-bought jarred bone broth. And then I'm adding in the coconut aminos.
I'm using my Redmond salt. And I'm adding the sesame oil in and lemon juice. Throw a couple bay leaves in there and let it get cooking.
Okay, friends, good evening, good evening. We need rice in this soup. The soup has already had a couple bowls taken from it, which is great because folks like it, but I need to add the rice to it, and I just got back in. I've been out doing mama run around, got my kids. This has nothing to do with slow cooker dinners, but I'm just looking at the box of it. I brought them home 2 dozen Elf special donuts from Krispy Kreme. So anyway, been doing all the mama stuff, and I need to add this rice. So it can just be, if I remember, I'm seeing the recipe on my head, but of course I've already Mega Mama Extra cooked my own recipe. I have probably tripled it here. So there's that. But, hold on here, pulling things together. I believe the recipe says 5 to 6 cups, and they ate a good bit of this soup already. That's okay, but it looks fantastic, and we will throw some rice in here. So I'm just gonna eyeball some scoops of the rice and get it in there. You know, we go to eyeballing school around here. This is just some rice. I purposely, when I did those meatballs yesterday, because I know not all of my folks like the spicy meatballs with the rice, but those who do. So I thought that's okay. I cooked 4 cups of raw rice, knowing that once it cooked up, we'd have plenty for the meatballs, which are gone now. Those did disappear earlier, and as I said, the soup has already been gotten into, which is great. And you could put noodles in, like your last 30 minutes before you're ready to eat, you could drop some noodles in here instead. It doesn't have to be rice. Just like in a perfect world, I would have done some celery in here too. You can see how beautiful this soup is looking. I'm just breaking up some of my rice there.
So there we go, a nice hot bowl of delicious soup. And here's what it looks like in the slow cooker.
Welcome to day 3 of our week of slow cooker meals, easy slow cooker meals. But look at this, I don't know who we are. I don't know who we are, who are we? I went downstairs to get frozen chicken from the freezer. It's like if you give a mouse a cookie. By the way, we're making slow cooker chicken and dumplings. I could easily turn this into a stovetop chicken and dumplings, but we're staying in theme here. So I went to get my chicken and some frozen veggies. Just following my recipe over on largefamilytable.com. Keeping it simple, I'll have that linked to you. I ended up in my pantry. Okay, so I had no frozen vegetables. I had the frozen chicken. I went into my grocery store in my basement. That's my ice maker. It's gonna beep and drop ice. Went into the grocery store in my basement to get some canned vegetables. And of course I have my whole canning pantry. And I thought, oh, I'll get corn. We canned this corn last fall. We'll use canned corn. And then I looked up, and lo and behold, I had 2, 4, I have 6 quarts of broth. I'm so happy. I didn't know that broth could make a woman happy. Maybe you didn't know broth could make a woman happy, but I'm so happy. 6 quarts, I mean, hey, we can make it work. Then I was like, oh yeah, I canned chicken. And I'm pretty sure this was our organic from our local J&L Green Farm chicken, or I'd have to go back and watch this video, or it was from the chicken I raised and butchered. Okay, so I've got our chicken. And then I thought, okay, remember we canned these carrots last October. I know I canned them long, but they're soft. I can slice them. We can use those. And then I also thought, we'll throw some potatoes in there. So I'm using mostly my home canned ingredients for tonight's slow cooker meal. I'm also doing homemade cream of chicken soup. I'm doing it big batch style, so you'll have to scale it if you don't want a whole big giant cast iron pan full, but that's what we're gonna do. But to keep it honest, I am using store-bought biscuit dough because I got a couple cans of it, and I'm like, I can use that for my dumplings. We can make them. You know, in the past, I've done a lot of homemade biscuits and put them in the freezer and use them for projects like this as well. But I bought biscuits to do the recipe, to like follow along. And again, I knew I had frozen chicken, thought I had frozen vegetables, thought I'll just buy some biscuits, make this easy on myself. So we'll use those store-bought biscuits. But again, look at us. Who are we? I'm going through a time, especially this week, where I just feel like my capacity is increasing in a lot of areas. You know, I have not been thinking about canning. I'm also working on a video, which will either be before or after this one, and I'm doing a whole lot of super mega sourdough. Just in a lot of areas of life. I know it's a sign of healing, and I know there will be ebbs and flows and peaks and valleys, and it's all part of the journey. But I'm just having a good week and appreciate, thank you Lord, that I feel like my capacity is increasing. So now let's make homemade chicken and dumpling soup with store-bought biscuits, but home canned ingredients and homemade cream of chicken. Yeah. I'm going to bring all 6 quarts over because if I don't, I'll need it. But I have my big batch homemade cream of chicken soup planned using 4 quarts. So I'll have to scale, like how I like to do, and increase if I end up scaling it much more than 4 quarts. And so this uses chicken broth, whatever. Use Great Value box broth. You can see I've got my sourdough operation in the works here. I do have to actually use the stovetop to cook it for a few minutes. I'll move my lids over. So it's broth and flour and milk, and then seasonings. I'm going to use onion powder, garlic powder, probably a little basil, rosemary, thyme, salt and pepper. I'm going to decide as I'm cooking it exactly what I'll be putting on it. So, get these lids wiped off here.
So for the big batch homemade cream of chicken soup, I use a total of 16 cups of chicken broth, 10 cups of milk, 4 cups of flour. And then for seasonings, I use onion powder, garlic powder, basil, thyme, a little rosemary, and salt and pepper. So I combined the 16 cups of chicken broth and 5 cups of milk in a large cast iron skillet. That's what I thought was going to happen. Of course, we're going to divide that down between 2 big skillets and then bring that to a boil, stirring along the way. All right, you know this is my super mega cast iron pan. Was it 17 inches? I think I'm gonna need a bigger boat because I have lots of milk and flour and accessories I need to add. So let's back up the sourdough here a little bit and yeah, do this in 2 pans, which I do 2 big pans of gravy. I have in my past life, I would do 2 big pans of gravy at a time. So we can certainly do 2 big pans of cream of chicken soup. And I feel like I might have said cream of mushroom soup. It's just the cream of, please know I'm saying cream of chicken. Yay. Well, we got dueling big cast iron pans going, so that's nice. So I was gonna do 5 cups of milk. Now we will eyeball and divide that between both pans. Then I whisk 4 cups of flour and 5 cups of milk plus the seasonings in a separate bowl. And then I'm going to pour that into my pan and get it gently boiling with the chicken and milk mixture that we already have in both the cast iron pans. I'm going to turn my heat on low and I will continue to whisk it until the cream of soup mixture reaches the desired consistency. This is a great big batch homemade cream of chicken soup recipe that can replace canned soup recipes anywhere they are called for.
Okay, wish me luck.
But here we are, finally combining all the ingredients together in both large cast iron pans, and this will finish the process for us making the homemade cream of chicken soup. I just have to visit each pan and continue to whisk it until it is the desired consistency, and then we will take both panfuls and pour them into the 10-quart slow cooker. Of course, I have to do that easily, gently, one step at a time. I can't pick up one of these pans by myself, but we get it scooped in there and add our other ingredients as well.
Okay, so our homemade cream of chicken is done. Now, my wrist has been doing more and more. I didn't really plan though how I was going to get the cream of chicken into the 10-quart slow cooker. So I think I'm just going to ladle it into my 4-cup measuring cup, and we're going to get it in there and it's all going to work out and be great. All right, so here is how our chicken and dumpling soup is looking with our mostly homemade, home-canned ingredients. And then we will, in a couple hours, drop our store-bought biscuit dough in here, and we'll push those down towards the bottom, and we just keep letting it cook until those are cooked through.
So it's several hours later here, and I am dropping in the biscuit dough. And again, we're going to push it down with the spoon there and let the dough cook through. Alrighty, friends, we know it's a good time if Jamarelle is overflowing the slow cooker. That is our sign, the sign of our people, right? So you know if someone needs their slow cooker overfilled, you know who to call. Should have my own little Ghostbusters song, huh? Yes, that's right, super fillers. something with the Ghostbuster theme and me overflowing a slow cooker. Do it in the comments, go. Well, friends, I am back today for 2 more easy slow cooker meals. First off, we are getting going with a slow cooker taco tater tot casserole. All kinds of fun surprises in that one. Then we're gonna do an absolutely delicious slow cooker stuffed pepper soup. I love it. It's a favorite. Can't wait to get that going. I am doing that because I will be eating that for several mama lunches coming up as well. And then the kids love the slow cooker taco tater tot casserole, so let's get going on both of these. So the very first thing I am doing, per my usual, is I am chopping up several onions that I'm going to saute up and add to the ground beef that we're going to cook. I have, it's about 5 pounds of grass-fed, grass-finished ground beef that we're also going to cook up, but we will saute the onions first. Okay, so I thought I had some more of the pure and holy olive oil I bought from Azure. I may have to go downstairs and look. I don't have any more upstairs. I do have several jars of bacon grease still, so we are going to saute our onions and bacon grease, and no one will be upset about that. I also added in some minced garlic along with the onions to saute up. And now I am adding in my 5 pounds of ground beef to cook up with the onions and the garlic that have been sauteed. And we will cook all of this up together, and it will be so delicious for our taco tater tot casserole that we are doing in the slow cooker. We will be adding in some other seasonings, including taco seasoning that we had got from Azure, coming up. Okay, so turn my stove back on here. Now, the grass-fed, grass-finished ground beef is generally pretty lean, but I did get a little bit of fat out of there. So, always worth the draining. Got that out of the way. Now we're gonna add, I've got some taco seasoning, and I only have, this is kind of silly, it should be 2 jars of salsa. I've got 3/4 of 1 jar, so we're gonna make that work. And then, look at us, we do canning. We still have some of the black beans that we canned, so we're using those up. We're gonna add all of this to the meat, let it cook a few more minutes. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a layer of tater tots at the bottom of the slow cooker, and then we're going to do our wonderful taco meat mixture, and then we're going to add tater tots to the top and let that cook in the slow cooker
for a couple hours. And then about the last 30 minutes or so, then we top with about 2 cups of cheese onto our taco slow cooker tater tot casserole. And let that melt, and then serve from there. And then family members can garnish any way that they would like. So it's just a fun way to do it, and another easy slow cooker recipe. I will add just a little bit of water with this too.
Now we put the first layer of tater tots at the bottom of the slow cooker, and I am scooping out this ground beef again, and we will carry it over and put it into the slow cooker. And now we're going to top with another layer of tater tots, and towards the very end we will top with shredded cheese that melts down beautifully. And now I'm cooking another pan of ground beef to go into our slow cooker stuffed pepper soup. And now, of course, we are going to chop up all the peppers that are going to go into the stuffed pepper soup. Now we're just going to drain this ground beef, and instead of brown sugar I am using Swerve, which makes a brown sugar substitute that is sugar-free and keto-friendly and diabetic-friendly, checks a lot of the boxes. You can use regular brown sugar or light brown sugar if you would like. So that's how lovely that stuffed pepper soup is looking. And now I'm just doing a pickup of our area. On this evening, I was taking my folk to a candy cane flashlight hunt. Okay, so both of these meals are ready. I did add the brown rice to this unstuffed pepper soup. You can see it's boiling there. Let me just unplug it. But it smells so good, and I am going to eat this, and I have several other folks here who will dig into this as well. And then just look at this delicious taco tater tot casserole. That's what it looks like with the cheese melted on the top. And I'll show you what it looks like here in a plate in one moment. So here we go. Here is a plate of the taco tater tot casserole and a bowl of the delicious soup, and family folks can get whatever they would like. Thank you so much for watching, friends. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this whole week of easy slow cook, this whole week of 5 easy slow cooker recipes. All of the recipes will be linked in the description below, and I will see you real soon with another brand new video. Bye-bye. Thanks again so much to KiwiCo for sponsoring today's video. Be sure to click the first link in the description below. Head to kiwico.com/JMorrell. Use my code JMorrell to get 50% off your first month. Yay!